guys, how you guys doing? So this morning I actually received this word. Guys, it's snowing like heavily, like snowstorm, like crazy right now. And we are literally in March, like mid-March, basically. Almost the ending of March, and it's snowing like crazy. But this is Canada. This is what happens here. So yes, look, can I tell you something? When I got up early this morning, I went to go brush my teeth, wash my face. As I'm washing my face, I literally heard the Holy Spirit whisper, envy. And I'm like, okay, this is a word for someone, or this is a word for relating to something, but I wasn't sure what it could be relating to. Okay. So I waited all day, whatever. I received the word, and I just want to say, whoever you are, here's how you're going to know this word is for you. God has already told you. You have already suspected it. You have been like, your discernment has been on point, and you have been like, God, like, is this really happening, God, etc., etc. This is the reason why God mentioned the word boundaries yesterday. I mentioned a bunch of things related to that word yesterday, and I talked about how, many areas you can, apply boundaries, and how it's so important to not overshare things with people. Not, it's okay to be kind, but you have to also remember that, some people, they'll take your kindness for weakness. I also talked about some people not caring that you're trying to help them. In fact, it's like they just want you to help them, but then they don't implement what it is you're trying to help them with in their life. They don't implement the advice and things like that, right? And that was all relating to boundaries, okay? Now, God said envy because this is someone that you're going to have to place boundaries on as well. Envy and jealousy is very dangerous, because here's the thing. It will start off very small. It will start off like a little jealous bug, a little jealous spirit. But what will end up happening is that can end up growing. Okay. And the reference that God gave me was Cain and Abel. He gave me and I don't really hear about Cain and Abel a lot from God. It's like once in a while. And I heard about it, I think 2 weeks ago, and I mentioned it, but he gave me Cain and Abel as an example, as in like the envy is very bad to the point where this person will literally try to kill you, or they'll try to take you out. And this is why it's so important to implement boundaries in your life, especially when God tells you about someone. When your discernment is kicking in, I'm not talking about just like you feeling weird about someone and you just accusing them for things and, maybe it's them. No, I'm talking about your discernment is kicking in. Like, it is kicking you to where you can't even ignore it. Okay. Your discernment is kicking in, and you're not tripping. But at the same time, the problem is that you're having a hard time accepting it. And that is a thing that happens to most children of God who are very kind. You'll have a very hard time accepting the fact that someone feels this way about you, because the way you look at them, the way you see them is in a positive light. And you would never expect people to feel this way about you, especially when, you notice that these people saw your struggle. They saw, what you had to go through. They saw a lot of things going on in your life, and they knew how hard it was for you to get to where you are today or where you're going to be. So you would never expect for them to feel this way about you. So oftentimes when God is warning you about something, you will literally try to ignore it, or you'll try to make excuses for it. Like, maybe I'm just feeling this way because of this. Maybe I'm feeling this way because of that. But there's so much red flags. Like, you'll see so much red flags. And let me tell you something. Witchcraft is mainly done by someone that is close to you. Yes, it happens where strangers will do witchcraft on you and they'll attack you, etc., etc. But that usually fades away. Strangers don't usually last when it comes to attacking you, right? There's no worse attack than an attack from someone who is right under your nose, whether it's your family or your best friend or someone you work with. Those are the worst attacks, because they're keeping an eye on your every move, right? The Lord wants you to implement boundaries, and the Lord wants you to be wise and understand that in this season, He is trying to do amazing things in your life. He said today, I am moving. And I said, I don't know if that was a word for someone that's moving, like relocating, or if God is saying I'm moving. But I said, I feel like it's God literally talking about Himself moving in people's lives because of the inheritance message I got this morning. God showed me a message relating to people trying to sow negative seeds in our sleep to try to steal our inheritance, to try to steal our destiny, to try to steal what is meant for us. It's not going to happen as long as we continue to rebuke, denounce, and cancel, and we continue to be obedient, and we are complying to the instructions that God has specifically given us relating to our tasks and our assignments, and things are going to be good, right? However, you cannot put it past you that there's still people who will try. There's still going to be attempts. We're not going to escape that, right? And that is where God wants you to be wise. He does not want you to be like, okay, yes, the destiny is mine, the purpose is mine, nothing's going to sabotage it. I can still hang around this person who does not like me. I can still hang around this person who envies me, etc., etc., etc. No, you have to be very careful, because witchcraft manipulation can manipulate people into doing things that they would not normally do. Like Cain killed his brother Abel because of God's favor on Abel's life, and he was envious of that. He was jealous of that, right? There's people that can be around you and they won't be able to handle the favor that is on your life, and they will do things they would not normally think about doing. So again, this is just me elaborating on the wisdom that I know relating to this, but also from experience as well. I had to release people because of the same very reason. And let me tell you something, ever since I've released people who felt this way about me, and even though I would be in denial, I noticed that that's when doors actually opened for me. Sometimes God is going to put restrictions on your blessings until you obey, until you start listening and taking heed to his instructions and what he's trying to tell you. And can I tell you something? It's not all the time God is going to come through with an answer that's a direct yes or no. No, God is not the author of confusion, and God makes things very clear. However, a part of training and a part of training our discernment means we have to make mistakes. It also means that God is going to have to pull the training wheels off the bike while we pedal for a bit, while we wobble here and there until we are steady. He will run up to us and he'll grab the bike before we fall, right? But there's going to be times where he pulls the training wheels off and he's like, keep going straight, keep looking, it's okay, because he has to train us. So in order for our discernment to be trained, God has to sometimes put a pause on answering you about certain things and allow you to receive your answers in other ways from him. As in, now you're going to feel him telling you something. Now you're going to dream of him telling you something. Now you're going to hear him telling you something, right? Because God speaks to us in many ways, various forms. This is how we are strengthened in many gifts, and talks about the gifts in 1 Corinthians, right? But in order for you to learn how to distinguish between spirits, how to discern properly, there's going to be times where God is going to not answer you right away the way that you're used to, but answer you in a different type of way for you to start using that gift. And in your case, it's discernment. He has been telling you, discernment has been kicking you, and you're like, God, I didn't want to believe that this person could feel this way about me, but he's giving you a direct answer. And I'm telling you, he was very direct this morning, and he said it very, very clear and very, loud. He literally said envy. And I was like, I looked in the mirror like, whoa, okay, this is a direct word for someone, right? So I want to just share that with you. And remember something. Do you know how many people who are still alive today, who have experienced this, have said to themselves, if only I listened the first time God told me. If only I listened the first time I saw the red flag. If only I listened. There's women out here today who have been, who have had acid thrown on their face. And many of them are like, if only I did not answer that door. If only I would have detached myself from that friend that did that to me ahead of time. There's people who are poisoned who said, if only I had known. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't want to say if only or shoulda, woulda, coulda. You want to say, I'm glad I was obedient, God. I'm glad I listened to you, God. I'm glad I'm well discerned, God. That's what you want to say. Okay, God warns us ahead of time because his plan is to prosper us, not to harm us. But at the same time, he's also training us, okay? So whoever you are, you know what you got to do. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but you know what you got to do. And this is confirmation that, yes, like this person around you is extremely envious. And be very careful of this person. Again, boundaries, okay? I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.